Hey everyone, come join me in a devotional reading today of Every Day with Jesus by Andrew Womack. God's love isn't selfish. Seeketh not her own. 1 Corinthians 13. Satan has tried to counterfeit every good thing God has given us. He has succeeded in selling the world a corrupt, inferior type of love. Hollywood has been a big asset to the devil in this battle. Movies portray an emotional sensual lust as love, but it has no basis in reality. It causes people to long for some utopia where every sense is fully satisfied at all times. But human love can never fully satisfy anyone's deep need to be unconditionally loved. This is God's kind of love. The most distinguishing characteristic of the true God kind of love is that it's not selfish or self-serving. True love isn't getting what you desire. It is selfless and giving. Just look at Jesus, the greatest example of God's kind of love that the world has ever seen. The world will tell you that living selflessly is joyless and miserable. But Jesus was full of joy and never miserable. He demonstrated the secret to life is selfless love. Jesus didn't come to this earth to satisfy himself. Ultimately, he did receive great satisfaction by redeeming mankind back to God, but he became a human being for his Father and for us, not for himself. He left all the splendor of glory and came to dwell in the most humble surroundings. He left the adoration of all creation to live for 30 years in relative anonymity. Although some praised Jesus during his ministry, he endured the scorn and ridicule of the religious establishment. Then he suffered the ultimate rejection of crucifixion and took all the shame that went with being a condemned criminal. He did all of this because God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. John 3:16. Test your love toward others today by asking yourself this simple question. Am I saying or doing this for me or for someone else? Focus on expressing love to others and see how differently your day goes. Y'all get that? Unconditional love isn't for yourself. It is for others. And Jesus demonstrated the ultimate type of unconditional love, dying for us, dying for you, dying for humankind. So, how do we apply this unconditional God type of love in our everyday lives? Um, Again, it's doing and asking yourself that question at the end of the devotional. It's like, what is your motives for doing something? Is it for yourself or is it for someone else? For example, so I am married. I love my wife, and I tell everybody at work. Everybody knows. It's like, dude, I love my wife. And I talk about her. I talk about the things she does, the things she loves, her quirks, the silly things she does, and I love everything about her. And then I follow up with the stories and the things I do for my wife. So one of the things I love doing for my wife is building a home where my life can live comfortably, joyfully, and just be at the most ease. So one of the ways I do that is I like keeping a tidy house. Now, although I can't do this by myself, she does help out a lot, but where she's tired, I ultimately clean the house, not just for me, but for her, because I believe if you have a tidy house, mentally, you are more at ease, less stress. So I want to create that environment for my wife, not just for me, but also for my wife. And then there are also times where I just straight up give up things that I like and that I want so that my wife can have things that she wants and that she likes that she never had as a kid growing up. I travel a lot in my day-to-day job. I go to different cities. And every time I go to a different city, on the way home when I'm done work, I'm always thinking, I'm like, when I got to get groceries or whatnot, the first thing that always comes to mind is, what can I find at the store that my wife would like? Genuinely. I never go to the store thinking, what can I get for myself when I go grocery shopping or anything like that. Genuinely, the first train of thought that I always think of is my wife likes blind boxes or plushies or she loves ice caps. So I'm always thinking, I don't know. I mean, I know why I think that way. It's because, dude, the thing that brings me the most joy is the most selfless thing I can do. And that's what Jesus is showing us, how to live a truthfully unconditional God type of love life. And I just show this to my wife and I show that to others and I share it with others by just being selfless. And in being selfless, again, putting my wife first, putting my wife's likes, loves, my wife's emotions first rather than my own, that actually brings me joy. Kind of like how Jesus put his life on the line to die for our sins. That's what brought him joy, ultimately. And God created us in this way, and he knows that's the way we live a truthful and a truly loving life, right? And when I do those things for my wife, it's like, my wife gets mad at me for this, because she's like, what? Like, why don't you get the things that you want? And I'm, don't get me wrong, there are things that I want, that I do want to have, but I keep telling her, I'm like, what brings me more joy is for me to sacrifice the things I want to get her the things she wants, brings me more joy than me getting what I want. Because I tell her, I'm like, when I get you 3 ice caps, or 2, or even just 1, a lot of the times I'll get her 2. I don't want to go back to Tim Hortons and get her another one the next day. So, you know what, I'll just get you 2. Right? When I come home with ice caps for her, or a surprise blind box, or plushies, those are the things she likes. She never really had those things growing up. So if I'm able to provide those things and give her those gifts today, I know those are things that she valued as a kid growing up that she never had. So now she values them, but now I'm able to give those things to her. So when I surprise her with those things, the smile on her face, and then she'll come up to me, and she'll that look and that smile. For all you husbands out there, all the boyfriends out there, you know that look of affection and love when your girlfriend or your wife gives you? It's like, I don't know how else to explain it unless you've gone through it. It's like, it brings me so much joy, more than anything could bring me. But it was so selfless. You see what I'm getting at? I challenge you today to share God's unconditional type of love, to be selfless in an act, or even with your words, towards someone you care about, or even someone you don't care about. That one would be even harder. Express God's kind of love, unconditional love, towards someone else. Anyways, that's it for now. Peace.